What's going on, Socialites? Ryan here with the Global Pokemon Society, bringing you some Pokemon UNITE news and an updated tier list. You know, been quite a bit of changes, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about when we get into the tier list. But first, let's talk about the Halloween event going on in Pokemon UNITE. This also brings us a new Pokemon, Greedent. Now, you can get Greedent for quote-unquote free by completing the challenges in the Halloween event. There are easy ones like just logging in daily, and there are also some that require you to play the Halloween event, and then there are some that require you to play with a friend. Now, I will say, if all you're interested in is getting Greedent, if you log in those 14 days, which the event is going for a little bit longer than that, so even if you miss a couple days, you'll be okay. You log in the 14 days, and you get done sort of the basic, just play on the Halloween map 10 times, win 10 games on the Halloween map. They're quick games, so they don't last 10 minutes. You know, you can bang out quite a few of them. You do all those, you will have enough of the pumpkins to get Greedent, so don't worry if that's all you want. If you want to get the Hollowware stuff and the stickers and all that stuff, then you will need a friend to play with and probably grind out some more of those games. But overall, I think the Halloween event is pretty fun. The main gimmick of it is that your battle item is a pumpkin, which you can throw at opposing Pokemon and it turns them into a pumpkin. Sometimes it gets a little annoying. If you miss your pumpkin throw and they hit you, you drop all your Aos energy. You really can't attack anybody for like 5 seconds. Yeah, it's definitely can be annoying, but it's also fun. And since it's just a quick game mode, you can still play standard, you can still play ranked, and not have to worry too much about it. And also with this event came a bunch of patch notes. We'll kind of go through them as we go through our tier list. And of course, we'll talk about Greedent when we get to him on the tier list. But one more thing I want to talk about before we get into tier list, you see over here somewhere. Can I point? Yeah, right here. We do have new merch, so check out the link in our description for our new jerseys, just in time for the holidays. For all you GPS fans, you know, get your favorite team. Maybe your favorite team is vying for those playoff spots right now in the draft league, and you want to give them some good luck. You know, rep them with the jersey. So they've been doing pretty well so far, and I want to keep it up because whatever we sell only benefits the coaches and getting them more stuff and better prizes and giveaways and stuff. That makes our whole channel better. So yeah, with that though, let's hop right into our tier list. Now, we have not done a tier list since before when Sylveon was released. We did a tier list, but that was pre-nerf. So Sylveon got nerfed, and you know, obviously that brought her down from being the best Pokemon in the game, for sure. But we've had a lot of changes in this current patch as well that we'll definitely go over. So as you can see here, we're just doing a standard S, A, B, C tier list. The patch notes definitely squished stuff. You remember last time we just had a Gengar tier because Gengar was by far the worst. I've played a little bit of Gengar since this patch, and I gotta say, he feels really good. Really good. They made it so that whenever you hit with one of your special attacks, so this is Shadow Ball, Dream Eater, you know, Hex, etc., you will recover that amount of HP back. That is huge recovery. So you got like Wise Glasses and Choice Specs on him. He is sustaining a lot better. Like, this was a very nice tweak, a very nice buff for Gengar. And I gotta tell you, those Shadow Balls, even at lower levels, they are one-hitting wild Pokemon. They are doing big chunks of stuff. I might be a little overhyping him, but I really like Gengar. Maybe A tier is a little too overhyped. Maybe I gotta bring myself back, because there are some things I still don't like about Gengar. One of which is his passive, Levitate, which makes you faster when you're out of combat. And in this game, you got to be engaged in combat, whether it's against other players or wild Pokemon. So maybe, like, I wish they would tweak his, you know, ability a little bit. Just, and, like, change how Floatstone works, too, because Floatstone's, like, the same thing. But, I'm going to put him in A, though, just because the couple games I played with him, I felt like I was doing huge damage. I was surviving a lot more than I ever have as Gengar. Like, I think I only died, like, a couple times, and I would just, like, popping people. So, with Shadow Ball. So, I'm going to keep him in A. Who knows? Maybe we'll move him down. Absol still seems pretty good. He's come down a bit for me from where I had him for a while. So I think I'm going to put him in B tier. Actually, I'm going to swap these two. I liked Gengar, but I think he's still, like, he's playable now, though. He's definitely playable. He's in a good spot. I'm going to put Absol up in A. Absol can still be a bully for a good majority of the game. Talonflame, very strong. Put that up in A. I think that goes ahead of Absol. Absol might get pushed down to B. We'll see as we go through here. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to push Absol down to B because I think Zeraora is still an A. Zeraora is still the best speedster. He still does great damage, and he's got some built-in sustain with his Volt Absorb ability. So he's still doing very well for himself. And he got a nice little, like, shiny Hollowware. If you got some random gems hanging around, it doesn't cost a lot at all. Ninetales. Ninetales has kind of been going down for me, mainly because the supports and the attackers are so much better that you don't really need a hybrid version of them. I think I'm actually going to move Ninetales down to the B rank. I know this is like a pretty big drop for Ninetales, but it's still good. Like, don't get me wrong, like, B is still good. I just think that there are other Pokemon that just do it better. You used to always run Ninetales because it could do two things pretty well. Now you can just run two Pokemon that do each of those things really well, and you're fine with that. Charizard. Charizard still has some, like, laning problems. I think I'm gonna put him keep him in the B tier. Like, his Unite move is still, like, the reason why you want him when you want him, but, like, it's still not like I would want Charizard on my team. Garchomp got a buff this last patch, increasing his attack. So, you know, good for that, I guess. I just don't know. Maybe it's the stigma. Somebody let me know. Do you think Garchomp is good yet? I gotta admit, I gotta play with him some more for this last patch. I just don't know if he's quite there, and we still need some C tier stuff. I think it's still like a speed thing. Like, you can just, like, an early game is speed thing. You can just run away from him. Machamp has kind of fallen off for me as well. With a lot of these, he hasn't been getting any love or any hate, really. I just don't see him as impactful as I did in the early meta when you had, like, Submission Machamp just running around everywhere. I think he might even be below Garchomp at this point if the attack increase is significant enough for Garchomp. I think that has to put him above there. Lucario finally got a nerf to his actual attack stat. But I don't know if it definitely brings him down, but I think that he's still pretty good. They also tweaked his steadfast ability so it doesn't trigger as much. Looking at what else I would want for S tiers. Like, is there still, like, a better laner here that I would want as an S tier? I think Lucario's still really good. He's just, like, more among the really good stuff. Wigglytuff, I still really like Wigglytuff. So annoying, so much CC. I think Wigglytuff is up in the S tier. It can just do a lot of stuff. Sing and Dazzling Gleam just really shut down the opponent for sure. Mr. Mime. I mean, I think a good Mr. Mime is a A tier pick. You just don't see a lot of them. For sure. I mean, I'm gonna look at this as best case scenario. Usually I don't look at it as best case scenario. I look at it as the average player. But let's say best case scenario. I think Mr. Mime can be up in the A tier pick. He can just be so annoying. And his Unite move, he can just chase you down and do some crazy stuff. You just need somebody who really puts the time into him to learn the timings of, you know, the barriers and pushing people into the barriers. Alright, Eldegoss. I haven't been seeing too much Eldegoss lately. I think some of the other supports are just better right now. And speaking of better, I would probably put Blissey as a better support. Especially in this pumpkin event. There's some fun things you can do with Blissey. Check it out for sure. But yeah, I think Blissey can just do more as a support role. Eldegoss is still good, like, don't get me wrong, like the B tiers, they're still all good. I'm just thinking like Eldegoss might be up here. Like, all the supports are really good. I'm trying to be, you know, draw a line here, but Eldegoss is still good. Like, I'm not gonna deny it. Eldegoss is still really good. Cinderace, still a pretty strong Pokemon. I think it settles nicely into the A tier for sure. It just does its thing. You know, he can lane well. You can put him in the jungle still, and he'll be fine. Cramorant's been getting some weird nerfs. They did a bug fix recently, so I mean, that wasn't too much, but I don't know why they had to give him that nerf a couple patches ago to his overall damage after they were like trying to buff him. Like, I don't know why they feel like Cramorant's like in the meta, like wrecking things, but you know, he's still fine. Like, he's still good. He's B. He's still good. Greninja, I would put Greninja up in the S tier. It might be up like pretty high. They didn't really change it too much, and I think with Sylveon getting nerfed, that allows Greninja to go back to being the jungler, and it can still do crazy stuff with Surf, like getting so many KOs all at once. So I think Greninja is still like the best jungler right now. Venusaur got nerfed to its overall healing from the Giga Drain, so that brings it down from the S tier. It was like very scary with its bulky build. I think it's still good. Like, I still get pretty annoyed by you know, a bulky Venusaur like that. So it's still up in the A tier. They also buffed Solar Beam, so you can go back to trying the like Solar Beam Sludge Bomb set for sure. You know, try that out. Pikachu got a buff to both its Thunder and to its Volt Tackle. So 2 of its abilities. I've had Pikachu low. I think the damage increase definitely helps it though. You're still always going to run Electro Ball, but at least you can have these other 2 like options for big chunk damage to allow your Electro Balls to kind of like get the finishing kill. I don't know if it's better than these other B tiers, but I think it's better than these guys. Like, Pikachu's okay. Gardevoir. I don't know, Gardevoir is always in a weird spot for me. Like, its potential is there. It just takes forever for it to get going. I think they need to redo Ralts a little bit to make Ralts like have a better early laning game, because it's so hard to feed that Ralts. You know, you want to run like have it with like something that can feed it, but that's really difficult to do in the early games. Like, your lane can just get bullied and you miss out on so much experience points. Sylveon, as we said, was the best Pokemon. Frankly, really busted when it first came out. Like, every team was running Sylveon. Now it's definitely still good, but you don't see like every team running it. I think it's probably like at the top of A. I don't think every team needs it, but I think it's still good. I think it's still a good jungle option for sure. If you're skillful with firing off Hyper Voice, you'll do big damage with that. But even if you just want to stick to Mystical Fire, its cooldowns are still like its biggest strength. Like it did get, I think on Mystical Fire it was about a 25% decrease, and on Hyper Voice it was like closer to 30%, which are big decreases, but its cooldowns are still crazy low. If you're hitting all your Mystical Fires, I think the cooldown's like 3 or 4 seconds. And then if you're doing Hyper Voice, it's like about 2 seconds. A little more than 2 seconds, I think, with Hyper Voice. So just the cooldowns are nutty. Crustle, I always have a lot of fun with Crustle. I almost want to put it up in the A tier, just because I have so much fun with it. Crustle can probably be up in the A tier. It's probably somewhere like here. Yeah, I just have a lot of fun with Crustle. Crustle's like the defender where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have fun with this, and then you end up getting like 10 kills and, you know, crazy stuff with it. So it's definitely really good, and it's a really fun Pokemon to use. Slowbro. Slowbro's probably down here in the B tier somewhere. Like there's so many defenders now. There's 6 defenders. It's nutty. Just like they've released 3 since the game came out. 3 defenders, 1 speedster if you want to count Zeraora, and 2 attackers, right? Am I missing anybody? Oh, and a support with Blissey, but so many defenders. Snorlax is still like really good. I don't know. Am I just bored with him? I don't see Snorlax too much anymore, but I think that's because people are bored with him because he's so good. I think it might be kind of like this. Like Lucario might not be as necessary in S tier, but he's still just so solid as a defender. Like his kit and his bulk and everything is just great. He actually works with Greedent's berries, so when Greedent drops berries, that's one of its gimmicks. It helps you power up your moves and reduce your cooldown and gives you some HP. But Snorlax can also eat those berries and get double the normal HP, so you could run like a Greedent Snorlax lane, which I think is actually pretty good. Blastoise got another nerf, this time to Hydro Pump. I think that might drop it to like the top of B tier here. Like, again, we gotta have like a line here. But it's still good. I haven't played too much with it since it's nerfed, but pre-nerf it felt fine. But now, like, you miss out that damage on Hydro Pump. So, do you try being a little bit bulkier and go with Water Spout and Surf? I don't know. Mamoswine seems pretty good. He's probably, like, towards the bottom of A tier for me. Put him, like, just at the bottom. I think he's better than Blastoise. But, you don't necessarily need him for sure, but he's got some good ranged attacks and some good melee attacks, so I definitely like Mamoswine. I've been playing a lot of him lately, actually. Just really like his kit, and it's another kit that can be pretty fun with his high horsepower and earthquake sort of dash moves. And last but not least, Greedent, the newest Pokemon added. We'll talk a little bit about Greedent. So as I mentioned when we talked about Snorlax real quick, he drops berries during his attacks. He also gets abilities that make him throw out a bunch of berries. Now these berries restore your health, they reduce your cooldowns, they make your other abilities stronger depending on how many you have, because it'll stack them up and then go down as you use your abilities. So Stuffed Cheeks, I think, is the better one. The Covet one is kind of like a dash, which I guess is fine if you're trying to like get in and out of combat, but Stuffed Cheeks just throws a bunch of them out, so you get your stuff like way quicker. It's not bulky in a sense of you will take damage with it, but it's bulky in that the berries keep giving you HP. So it has a lot of sustainability if you keep throwing those Stuffed Cheeks and getting all those berries quickly. once you learn like the timing and how far the stuffed cheese kind of throws. As for its second abilities, Belch is really strong. Does like over 1,000 damage. If you can get like an attack weight and get some early attack weights going, that's pretty good. Belch is like a cone shotgun sort of thing, and then its other one is Bullet Seed, which is a fun ability. It's like a little machine gun, like pew, 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 pew. But I think you know, Belch is a lot more forgiving in terms of skill, and it just does a lot of damage. And with its Unite move, when you use the Unite move, all your abilities go on like a really fast cooldown for a little bit, so you can just be belching like a bunch and just destroy Pokemon or destroy objectives like Dreadnought and Rotom. Speaking of Dreadnought and Rotom, I guess we should talk about this. Rotom got a buff. It moves really fast, gives your team a little bit of a damage increase as well. And then Dreadnought got buffed. Now instead of getting like a full level of experience, you only get half a level of experience, which is still nice. And the shields don't last as long. So maybe you want to go for Rotom a little bit more if you're looking to get those scores. And Rotom's gold remains defenseless for a little bit longer. So as far as Greedent goes, I think it's an A tier. I definitely think it's good. I don't think it is as defendery as Snorlax, but I think it's good. It's probably somewhere around Venusaur. Just because it's the newest thing, I'm gonna put it ahead of Venusaur. Just for that fun, you know, hey, it's the new shiny toy, right? So yeah, this is my tier list. I mean, we've condensed a lot of stuff down. Like there's like I said, B tier still good. Garchomp might even be B tier. I got to do some more stuff on that. If you've been playing a lot of Garchomp after this recent buff, let me know how he feels for you. Machamp's probably like the next Pokemon that needs some work done on. I don't know, it's just not exciting. Maybe we've gotten to the point where there's so many Pokemon, like we're starting to get to that point where there's so many Pokemon that it's like, some of them just aren't exciting. They're not fun to play with. They're not competitive to play with. Why am I going to play with them? You know, that's kind of like how I feel about stuff like Machamp and even Gardevoir. And like I said, Snorlax, like his kit is good. It's just boring, but he's still good. He's still, if you were in a tournament, you'd probably pick Snorlax over some of these other defenders just as a shutdown defender. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about the tier list. Let me know how you're enjoying the Halloween event. Which Pokemon do you think is currently the best in the game? I'm not saying Greninja's the best in the game. That's just like my idea. I don't know if there's a best in the game anymore. I think that there are a lot of good Pokemon. I think that they've been doing real good with these buffs and nerfs. So let me know what you think. And as always, stay classy, Society.